Welcome to another edition of Organizers Direct How-To video series. In this edition, we're going to learn how to install hamper doors with wire baskets. The tools we need to install a hamper door is we need the hamper template, a self-centering drill bit, a drill, a flat bit screwdriver, and a number 2 screwdriver bit, preferably a magnetic tip.
So I've laid out in front of us the door hamper. This is the back side of the door, and then this is the assembly hardware that comes with the hamper kits. We have the hinges that we're going to use to mount the door to the tower. We have flap stays, which stop the door from falling too far forward. We have the basket hook, the handle, and then just the different screws that we're going to use to assemble the hamper. Like the other hinges that we use, these hinges work off of the principle of a clamshell. So I'm going to use my thumb on the flat part. I'm just going to push it into the hole, making sure that I'm tight against the edge, and then close the clamshell over the top. As simple as that. Now I'm going to install my flap stays. And with the flap stays, you want to make sure that when you're installing those, that the arm is to the outside edge. And I'm going to use the pan head screws that come with it. Installing left side, back in, going to the other side. And then for the basket hook, I'm going to use the last pan head. And just a personal preference for me is I like to put the bumpers on before I put it in the tower. The Euro screws will attach the flap stays to the tower, and I'll put the handle on when I've got everything else complete. So this is the hamper template. You see we have alignment pins to line up to the front edge. We have the holes for the self-centering drill bit, so it'll get the hinges in the proper space. I use the template on the bottom shelf, align it up to the left edge, and using my self-centering drill bit, I drill my 2 holes there, slide it over to the right side, and I'm going to repeat the process. The hinge plates for the hamper are a little bit different than what we've had on the doors. You'll notice that it has an arrow, and that arrow has to point out, so that when I install that, I'm going to put it in place, and then just screw it down once again, making sure that arrow is facing forward. So now that we have the hardware installed on our door hamper, it's time to install the door in our tower. I'm going to start by taking my hinges and just locking those into place. The flap stays go in the 8th and the 9th hole up from the bottom. 3. So there's 8 and 9. So using the Euro screws that came with the kit, I'm going to install the flap stay, and the system holes. And now I'm going to go in and repeat the same thing on the other side. So sometimes you're going to find that the doors don't operate smoothly and they don't come out all the way easily. The flap stays have an adjusting screw in it, and I can just use a flat bit screwdriver, loosen the screws to allow easy operation of the door. And then I can grab my hamper, and with the hamper I want to make sure I have the recessed side towards the back, and I'm just going to have the hamper hooks grab the top rail. My hamper closes.